Hello and welcome to a new episode of Pat's Chat. Today I'm with Pui Mun. She's the CEO, co-founder of SpeedBricks Solutions, a real PropTech company. SpeedBricks helps contractors to go digital with easy-to-use software. Very exciting to talking with you, and thank you very much for your time and joining me today, Pui Mun.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Patrick. Thanks.
Okay, I'm really looking forward to that topic, how you help the construction industry going digital. Well, first of all, I of course want to learn a little bit more about yourself. You're Malaysian, I know that, but tell me, what is your background? Where are you coming from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Malaysia, in a small town called Kuala Lumpur. It's the capital of Malaysia, and I studied law during my uni time, and then I went into UK and completed my law degree, and I also have a master degree in law. Then I came back to Malaysia, and I also hold a practicing certificates, which I can practice. It means that I can practice as a lawyer in Malaysia, and I'm currently an adjudicator and an arbitrator as well. So I focus very heavily in construction law aspect. So yeah.
Okay. Well, was that like your idea from the very beginning? I know your father has or had a construction company, but was that like from the very beginning clear, like you will do something with construction, but move into law first, or what was like the process you went through?
I think law has always been my dream. Like since I was a kid, I love to debate, and I love to ask the question why. Why can't I do this? What's my right? That's my right. And I think what hit me the most it was when my uncle passed away at a very young age. My uncle passed away at his early 40s. And then there were a lot of issues with his estate. He left with four kids. So that struck me that law is important because we actually need to know what's our right. And with this knowledge, because most of the time during that time, none of us have any knowledge about what to do with the estates, and because he did not live with will, so everything was quite a mess, and he left the wife with a company as well. So that actually struck me that I want to study law because of the knowledge, and I really enjoy the legal knowledge that I'm able to gather so far. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I have a question. I had like two or three like guests also on my show. They studied law and they all went abroad to study it. I mean, how for me a bit difficult to understand. You want to study law, right? And but it's applicable for Malaysian or in Malaysia. That's quite different from like the law studies in UK, for example. Can you explain me like why would you study law abroad when you would like and practice here back in Malaysia?
Oh, okay. It also depends on your affordability, on your family's affordability. If you can, most of us, when if we can afford, we will choose to be educated in UK. Malaysia is a Commonwealth country, so we are all have this legal system called the common law system. So England, UK, they also uses the common law. So everything that we studied there is applicable in Malaysia. By the way, when we say we study law, it doesn't mean that we are learning the law. Well, it's part of it, but we don't learn everything because we basically have the skill of how to find answers to a certain aspect. And for myself, I came from a very poor family when I was a kid. I literally forced my parents to buy me an air ticket to study in UK. So that was my story. When I was finishing my uh, high school in Malaysia, I have a choice of whether I want to study in a local universities or abroad. So if I want to go to abroad, I have to do a transfer program because I don't have enough fund to go for all full 3 years in UK. So I then study in a university called Help College. During that time, it was a college. Now it's a university. They have this 2+1 program where you can study 2 years in Malaysia and then you can study 1 year abroad, and then you get a certificates, which is recognized as a abroad
Yeah.
certificates. Yeah.
Okay.
So I almost didn't manage to go to UK because during that time my family was they literally couldn't have enough fund. So but when I finished my 2 years in my college, I managed to enter into the University of Liverpool. Only 10 of us in the entire college managed to go
Wow.
enter. Also, yeah, I think it was luck because my English sucks and my result is okay. So my mom gave me like £200 when I fly. Um, they paid for my air tickets. That time it was Air Asia, thousand. It was 1,200. One way. I still remember the price. Uh, After that, I made one phone call to my home, 30 seconds phone call, and then I work in UK as well. So to sustain my living costs, I have to work there, so that I don't really need my parents to fund my living fees in UK. So that was the story.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's interesting to hear. Really. I thanks for explaining also like what is the connection, how that makes sense, of course. So after the studies, yeah, you did your masters in international commercial law. You came back to Malaysia and started practicing here, right? Um, what was that like? I mean, your first jobs being a lawyer. Um, can you explain a little bit more? Like, was that really? You said like you liked law, right? You want to be that, but something still triggered something that like okay, you thought maybe can still change something in your life, right? What was that, or what was like the thing that you said like okay, just practicing law is not the only thing that you want to do in your life.
Not really that way. I didn't even want
Mhm.
to come back to Malaysia. I was being offered a job in
Okay,
UK.
okay, good.
And there's this one day my parents decided to give me a phone call.
Mhm.
So that phone call changed my life. Basically, my dad is saying that he needs some help back in Malaysia to run his business and that. And me being the eldest in the family, I
Mhm.
have two younger brothers, but my brothers are 11 years apart and 8 years apart, so they are quite young. My uh, so and of course, during that point in life, I was facing quarter life crisis whether I stay in UK, have a good life, or I come back and being close with my family. And the thing with being a female is that we are very emotional. We are very sentimental. So we choose to come back. I choose to come back. No regrets, but
Mhm.
I always wonder what life would be like if I stay.
Mhm. Yeah.
That part of me, I always but wonder. But I enjoy my life right now, so it's okay. So I came back to Malaysia, and of course, I definitely need to get my practicing certificate. It allows me to be a lawyer. Um, then I went to do my privilege in Tree and Co. Is one of the very reputable firm in Malaysia. Then I was being offered to stay with the firm numerous times by the founder, Mr. Tree. Um, then the question is whether I want to go back to my dad's office to take a look what's going on, or do I want to continue to practice as a lawyer? So that was another decision that I have to make. Um,
Mhm.
in the first 3 years of my life in my working in my dad's company, I hated it. I constantly tell myself I should have just stay in trees, just continue to
Oh,
practice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think the love of constructions actually happens only come in when I am working full time in construction sites.
Mhm.
Uh, so what my dad did was my first day of work in my dad's company, he gave me um, close to 50 pages of construction drawings in an A1 size paper, a pen. So it was a pencil and a ruler. So he literally said, "Oh, this is your project. It's piling stage right now. You are going to handle it full time. I don't. I will be out of the picture." So he did not give me any background facts. He just said, "This is your site, and this is the."
Wow.
Yeah.
He threw you into the thing, huh?
First day at site, I got conned by Indonesian workers. First day at site.
That's where you
Yeah.
start to get your experience in construction, right?
Yes. 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 That
Yeah.
was the the part where I am. It was quite funny where I was being conned, and then I realized I really really need to be able to understand the construction more. So of course, I as a lawyer, I start off as reading the building bylaw. So everything is start from law. So uh, why do you need to have a everything is specified like your road, how do you build your road, your drain, how wide, how deep, everything is specified. Like if you fire your sprinkler system is all specified how many meters you need. So to me that is just another study of law. So I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time there. But because my dad is a contractor, so since I was a kid, I grew up in his firm. So
Mhm.
understanding how construction.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that
I
that
see.
actually helped.
Yeah. That's
Mm.
interesting. I mean, if you go with the general bias, like it's not like usual to see girls or ladies in the construction or construction sites, right? But for you, it's even more interesting. Like that process of obviously ended or like guided you through like not only going to construction but also to become like prop tech or like going into tech, right? And combine these two things. So I assume that like these issues that you were facing that you could solve potentially with law or from a legal perspective, right? You wanted to solve like from a tech perspective, like helping your own company or other companies not to get into this situation, right? So
I
what
think
was like
for
really the point where you said like, oh, we need to do something to solve this big issue?
I think it was when I actually worked in construction sites. It was really really messy. The trigger point was I was handling this midnight project. So it was a infrastructure work where we have to build a sewerage pipe. So it was a midnight job because we only managed to get a DBKL's license midnight. So where you have to close part of the road and then you build, you excavate and then you backfill at the same day. That during that period of my life, right, I have to make sure that material is delivered at the road shoulder for my everyday's job. If I don't have enough material delivered to my road shoulder on this particular day, we will be in trouble. So what we do is that we have to move because road shoulder. In order for you to put material on road shoulder, you need to have permit. During that time, CIDB did not, DBKL did not give us the permit. So what happened is we have to carry material out from construction sites, project sites, and put it outside to the road shoulder. So that activity actually need I as a project coordinator of that time, I need to make sure that we have sufficient material every day. And the issue is that I do not know how much I have ordered because when I'm working at site, I don't have information. I can't see. The information is in my office where it's in the laptop. My so or most of the time it's with my purchaser.
On
So
paper,
I have
yeah,
to go.
or not even with
I have
you,
to
yeah.
go back. Yeah, to ask how much. I know how much I ordered, but how much has been delivered? I wouldn't know.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then what was delivered yesterday and whether my supply is coming tomorrow, I have to make sure.
Mhm.
So it was very tough because I work until 6 o'clock in the morning. I go back, take a shower, and by 8 o'clock, I need to be sure that I'm in office to make sure that my suppliers deliver the material.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because it was road, it was very dangerous because the road that we are working on, it's linked to Jalan Duta, so uh, near to the High Court of Malaysia right now. So
Mhm.
when we close part of the road, we need to make sure everything's in order.
I
Um,
understand, yeah.
then I think because of the experience, I have written 69 pages, 67 pages of my proposal to tell my dad's company's board of directors that we need to digitize. It doesn't work. And they flipped through the proposal and they threw it away. They, they said,
Okay.
they were like, who are you to tell me how to run my business?
Mm. Yeah.
I have been doing this for the past 20 years. I'm making money. So what is tech? Tech. But to be fair to them, during that time, WhatsApp was still an option. I
Mhm.
have my one of the company directors that says, "Don't WhatsApp me. I don't believe. in WhatsApp. If you want to reach me, you call me. And now he's a big fan of WhatsApp.
So still go kind of digital, right? But I understand like the challenge of most of these industries, right? And like construction, manufacturing, right? And you have this very successful businessman, right? They did the business successfully for 30 years, right? All on paper based with the phones, right? So why to change it, right? We come back to that in a moment. So let's so we figured out like the starts of Speed Brick, that app, and we can see it in your background also. I like that, by the way. And one more interesting factor here in the founding of the company was that you were looking for a tech guy, right? That was missing part. I heard the story on BFM. I think that's where I got it from. His name is Loy Fern, if I pronounce that correctly. And you met him via Facebook. So you were looking for a tech co-founder, and you found him in Facebook. I think that's quite interesting. But maybe you can like give us a more information or background on how that really happened, or what was your motivation to find someone on Facebook to take over that role.
I think I know what I want, and I actually, in my proposal, I detailed out each and every page of my app, what my app will looks like. Then I started looking for tech people, and of course, during that time, I don't have any fund, and the company obviously are not funding it. So I was looking for. To me, it's like every day if I wake up, I still think that my idea is good, then I should do something about it so that I've got no regrets. Then I posted on Facebook to look for a tech person. So during that time, I've met up with more than 60 or 70, quite a numbers of tech guy. That each meeting taught me a little bit about what I am looking for. In the end, I met Louis texted me. It was very formal. I look back at our conversation, was very formal. So it was like, dear, he sent me a message, dear Pui Mun, I am interested. And then I was like, dear Louis. So it was so formal. Then we had a first meeting. The first meeting, he gave me a very good impressions. Because he was the only one that tells me my idea sucks.
Yeah,
Of
really.
so many tech guy I met,
Uh-huh.
he was the only one that tells me what I want is a dream. Because I wanted A to Z. It's like end-to-end solutions. It's just like
Mhm,
what my clients want. I want everything. And
mhm,
then to him is that there are a lot of constraints because whatever I prepared is very high level.
mhm,
The devil is in the details. So we then work backwards. What is the most impactful solutions needed in the construction industry?
mhm.
Then, because Louis himself, he's very smart. He has an IQ of 158. He is like the smartest in the room.
Wow. Yeah.
Uh, he's super smart, like, and very high IQ, and he literally understand when I explain constructions to him.
Mhm,
Most tech person, they don't get it. They don't understand. They were like, what is wrong with constructions? Is you need an app. Then just build an app. But
uh-huh. Yeah.
it's it's not an app that is important. It's more on what is inside the
Yeah,
applications.
yeah. What specific problem you're solving for the guy who should use it in the end, right? Else they will just not use it at all.
Yeah, yeah. So we first met in a cafe called Kafa. We named our project during that time. We called it Project Kafa. And the funny part was the cafe was no longer there. We are still here. Yeah. So it was quite fun meeting him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that was around 2015, if I'm not wrong, right? It's 6 years ago. So the project or the product in the meantime is 6 years old. What is impressive, as you just mentioned, it is like fully self-funded. So you started with your own funds or like your time mostly, I would say. The two of you developed that app that is really well, the leading construction app, let's say in Malaysia. Um, you also mentioned like okay, you start with the supply chain that solved the problem that you mentioned earlier, right? But how did you like really bring the people in, right? I mean, as we discussed also before, right? It's like let's say the construction or construction maybe a bit stubborn, right? They did it like in paper like all these years. How could you really convince them to use the app, go digital? How did it help them?
I think when we design the applications, the starting point of me doing this is not really to make money. It is really to solve a problem. Then the question is, what problems are we solving? What is the most important problems to solve in the construction industry? I did a lot of research, and I found out that there are many apps. You have project management applications, but when it comes to buying material, we contractors we spend 70% of our project value buying material,
Mm,
and almost
mm,
100% of the time there's going to be over budget in the material sector.
okay.
Because material management is very complex. I did a research where my finding was there were 136 reasons for you to waste money, and yeah,
Okay.
there are 136 to
that's that's
waste money
enough. Yeah.
for construction projects. And there are a lot of solutions that handling 70% of the problems.
Hmm.
But this material management problems, right, is not solved globally. You don't have an app that literally focus on solving supply chain issues. You can't find it anywhere else, not just in Malaysia, but in the entire world. So once we figure out, then the question is why? The issue with supply chain is that there are too many stakeholders involved. If you want to have changes, right, you look at supplier, and then your people be above you, which is consultant, which they approve the equipment list, and then of course you yourself as a contractors inside constructions company, right? You have your own subcontractors, you have your project manager, you have your foreman, you have your purchaser, you have your QS. So of course you have your accounting departments as well. So all these stakeholders, right, they make decisions differently. So there are a lot of silo between departments
Yeah.
in the construction.
Hmm.
So um, most of the time mistakes happens because of miscommunications. Either you are looking at the wrong drawing, or you already order the material, you forget, and then you buy again, or you buy the wrong spec, or when you buy the material, you don't look at the budget. So we realize it's important to bring informations in front of people when they make decisions. So in SpeedBreak, how we design it is that everyone in a construction company see us differently. It's personalized. For instance, if you are working at site, we will tell you when you order the material, we'll tell you whether it's within or exceeded the budget and what spec are you ordering. So we only give you the important information. We don't give you more. So I think that is a slightly difference between us and other solutions.
So basically, focus on the core information, right? As there's too many information that's overwhelming, and as you say, then you forget or you double order things like that. Yeah. I have another question that goes into the same like or like let me rephrase that from before. Like you were asked many times, right? Why contractors, sorry, don't go digital. And the main answer of that was like the fear of failure, right? Can you elaborate on that one? What you mean by that, or what contractors mean by that, and how like you convince them that like you can take away that fear, like if you're using like really the app, they can only gain in the end.
Because every contractors know that, especially now, they need to go digital. The question is how, and the next question followed by how is what. Because when you are looking to go digital, you are spending money. How can you guarantee me that as a solution provider, I will get good return of investment? So, and the major fear, and it's based on their actual experience. I have a lot of clients that have spent millions on buying software that end up collecting dust. So it's
Mm,
sitting on a shelf with that experience of failure, it will be more difficult for them to go digital, because to them is, you as a solution provider, you can say as much as you like, but I don't have confidence in buying your software, because I don't. To them, is rubbish in, rubbish out. If my software that I invest in, my people are not using, then the software is redundant. And we have to educate them. Of course, that is a fact, because most software is a data entry software. Meaning, if you put in data into a software, then you can see result. But SpeedBreak, we are slightly different. We are a software that help each and everyone in a company to do work. It's not data entry. For instance, if you want to order material, you don't data entry into the system that you already ordered, but you use the system to do your work, which is faster than WhatsApp. We are being described by our client as we are one touch system. But if you want to buy material, you use the system to buy material, literally.
Mm,
So you use the system to do work, and the
yeah.
system will collect the data and then automatically churn out reports for you.
Okay.
That's So come back to contractors when they are having fears, right? We have a few tips for them. Most of the time, uh, the decision makers, meaning the directors who pay for the app, they don't understand their own employees. They are paying for a dream software, but
Mm, I
when you
see.
are
Yeah.
buying a when you're buying a software, we always say you must buy a software that your people will use.
Mm,
Otherwise, it's a waste of money. So
yes. Yeah.
we give our clients 3 tips or prospectory tips. Tip number one is, first thing, identify which area costs you the most money. Most of the time is the supply chain management area, and also the subcontractor management. Any other problems you have in your company can wait. Don't digitize everything. I have a client that I want to digitize my HR, I want to digitize my asset, I want to digitize my warehouse. No, you have to spread it out, because change is very difficult. So first tips is identify the area you want to digitize. And then second is, look for solutions that your staff will use, because it's not about you, it's about your staff using the solutions for you to get good result. Don't buy a software that you like. Buy a software that your staff will use so that you can get good results. And third thing, of course, the solutions that you choose must be able to give you a good report, give you good information without data entry. That is our tips. That's our educations to the market as well.
Yeah, okay, very smart. I understand that. That's great. Thanks a lot for sharing that. Also quickly, like obviously your charging model seems to be a little bit different. Maybe you can
Yeah.
quickly share that, how you are charging with your app to the customer.
We don't charge, many software they charge based on per user basis. Um, in SpeedBreak, we don't believe in per user license, because we believe that when we build a software, it needs to be used by everyone in the company. So how we charge is, we have two fees. One is a monthly subscription module, where you pay according to how many uh, projects, based on your project value. So it's tier basis. So the bigger you are, the more you pay, because the value that you get is more. The smaller you are, you will pay slightly lesser, so
Mm,
that the value you get is also sufficient for your company. So when you grow, the package will also grow. So it's tier based.
nice.
Monthly subscription fee.
Yeah.
And then we also have another pricing, we call it onboarding implementation charges, where it's a one-time fee. It's a
Mhm.
lump sum fee where we charge our client in helping them to train them. Our
Mhm.
implementation fee is for 6 months. It's basically during these 6 months, we will monitor the usage. Step one is there is a data cleaning, data migrations, and then we train you according to what position you are. For instance, if you are site, you get site training. If you're directors, you get directors training. After you go live, our implementation part, this is the fun part, is after you system go live, we monitor your usage for 6 months, during which we will do before and after using. So you get to see return on investment. We do the calculations for you, where before using SpeedBreak, this is where you are. after using SpeedBreak, this is where you are, and these are the benefit that you get. So some of our
Mhm.
clients will see 6% improvement of productivity. We measure and show it to you.
Nice.
If there's no improvement, we will take back the solutions. That means the solution is not for you. You take back
Okay,
the solution.
interesting. So no, almost risk free for the customer, if you want to say that,
Yes,
right? Yeah. Okay.
we
Awesome.
are very confident because we are very confident because we have
Mhm.
tested and proven
Yeah.
and everyone in the company is using. And
Sure.
we have statistics to show that if you invest in SpeedBreak every day, your people will use the solutions, even on Sunday. Even on
Okay.
that
I have a question. Like, we can quickly discuss on this one. How was it during COVID? I mean, did that more help your company or the software, like, to push it, to sell it, because now, like, construction, like, figured out, oh, now it is really the time to go digital.
COVID is a very interesting time where we thought we are going to be screwed because construction industry halt.
Yeah.
The entire construction
Correct. Right.
industry
Yeah.
halt. So everyone, it was a very difficult time.
Mm.
So during COVID, instead of for selling the product, we give value to the industry. So what I did was I written a book together with my friends about business continuity, and then we give it out for free to all our clients and prospect, and assisting them to get back on their feet. And we also partners with a COVID test company where we help to open up construction site within 72 hours to help them quickly do all the COVID tests and then quickly fulfill the SOP, like you need a temperature scan and then a writing of a record of the temperature as well. So that was during the COVID period. Then in the same time, SpeedBreak also take these very good opportunities to write more applications. So we actually launched our latest product during COVID. It was a subcontractors management app where we allow contractors to monitor all their subcon in one platform, and which they can also issue set off and back charges to all their subcon in one platform. So, and then we also launched our financial dashboard where now directors, with one glance, they can see how much money they collected from their client and how much money they spend on material, labor, and also subcontractors. So, so COVID time is fun. And interesting things happen. We thought we are not going to have any clients during COVID, and then, but in fact, our company grew almost 100% during that period.
Wow,
So
that's
we
impressive. Yeah.
actually positive cash flow end of December last year.
Wow, awesome. That's great to hear. Congratulations. Also on the new features that you just mentioned. I'm sure you will be even more successful in the future. That's really great. What is to finish now? What is the next big thing we can hear from Speedbreak? What is upcoming projects? What are you working on right now?
Speedbird right now we have six. We entered into last month. We entered into six partners. MOU signing with different partners. Two of those worth mentioning. One is the government, the Malaysian National Cost Center, where the government is going to give us the entire cost data of Malaysian constructions industry. So we will be
Oh.
having
Mm.
uh, the entire Malaysian's material price data, labor rate, and machinery rate. And then upcoming, we are going to use what we are designing right now is we are designing in-house pricing control mechanisms for our clients, where our clients would be able to see based on their company data, the price trend for the past 3 months, who they purchase the material from, what other price they buy, is there an increase of price or decrease of price, so they can have their in-house price control.
Wow.
And with
Okay.
government data coming in, we also would be able to allow them to compare it with government data as well.
Mm.
That is the upcoming, and of course, we are also launching Singapore office. We're opening our Singapore office this year,
Wow. Okay.
uh,
That's
and
great.
we are going to work with local universities to bring more values to the industry. Right now, we focus very heavily on solving problems for our clients. So building more to help our clients. Upcoming things is that we will make it even more powerful on data processing. So, for instance, what we are working right now is that we can actually predict your cash flow for the next 3 months. We can already do that kind of predictions, and yeah, give more value to our clients, I guess.
Sure. Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you very so much, Pui Mun, for sharing your knowledge, your experience, your story from lawyer to prop tech entrepreneur or prop techpreneur, how we call it. Awesome story. Thank you very much for sharing. And as I said, I really hope and wish you all the best and a lot of success with Speedbreak to come.
Thank you so much for having me today. I had fun. I had fun. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. And thanks to the audience for watching and listening to this episode. I hope you liked it. And then I see you next week for another episode of Pat's Chat. Thanks and have a great day.